So, hey, what's up to all my Scorpios out there? Please make sure to get the book at Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com. The links will be in the description box below as usual. So, this person had actually, hold on a second. This person had actually asked me to do this video. They actually wanted me to talk about a lot of different things, but I will. So, first and foremost, what is the quantum mountain? As I said before, right? And this is the last time I'm gonna go ahead and clear this up. If people don't necessarily get the idea, it is what it is. You just lost pretty much. So what is the quantum mountain? The quantum mountain is explained through quantum physics. You're not necessarily actually physically moving up a physical place. You're going from one field of existence to a higher field of existence. So in other words, it's like, for instance, like when you start off as a novice or a beginner in something, right? And then with over time and experience, you become very good at what it is that you were once a novice in. That is a prime example of what the quantum mountain is. Are you physically climbing some form of some mountain? Are you physically going in a particular space? Not or relocating to a particular space? Not necessarily. You could, but not necessarily. The kind of movement that represents the mountain is going from a novice state, which is what people would perceive as lower, to being at a better state at whatever task you are achieving, right? Which is a higher state. So the quantum mountain, there is no limitation to the quantum mountain, because there's no limitation to how good or bad someone can essentially get. Actually, there is a limitation on how bad someone can get, but there's no limitation on how good a particular person can become. So you're starting from the foot of the mountain, which is you being not so smooth, not so good, you being a novice, clumsy, loud, to being much more efficient, good, stripping away of all of the things that you didn't necessarily understand or have experience in, that your body and your mind did not have access to before. Because remember, you were a novice at the time. You were a beginner. You didn't understand it. Another thing that the person wanted me to go ahead and clear up is talking about the game and understanding and talking about why it is that the game is so dangerous. I've been saying it in many of my videos, but I haven't necessarily made it clear. The game is very dangerous to every single person involved. Doesn't matter how smart you think how smart you think you are, and I can prove this through scientific means and every other means, forwards and backwards. The reason why it is that the game is dangerous is because the game is essentially designed for everybody who is playing the quote-unquote proverbial game theory, because they just cut the theory part off and just extended it to the game or game. It's actually the game theory, and theory means BS. It doesn't exist. It's a figment of a delusion. It's not even an imagination. Your imagination, technically speaking, through quantum physics, is real. The theory does not exist. It's BS. Literally, it's BS. That's what the word, that's if you actually do the etymology to the word theory, which is what the game is shortened for, because it was the game theory and then they shortened it to game, having game. The full name of it is the game theory. The word theory means BS. There is no real bearing to it, but yet people put too much of an emphasis on it. But The game theory, the people who play the game are ultimately the ones who lose. And the reason for that is because the game is intrinsically, meaning inwardly, the nature of it is designed for people who are cowards. People who don't want to necessarily take risks in actually going about getting who and what they want. Meaning what? Meaning you too scared to walk up to someone to say hi. So guess what it is that you're going to do? You're going to go ahead and start getting flashier and flashier to get the attention of this person. But why is that idiotic? Because this person can't read your mind, and they don't hear your thoughts. They don't know what it is that you're thinking. So if you're just going out and getting flashier and flashier things, it's literally quite dumb and unwise for you as a course of action to do that, because you're going to essentially make yourself poor by buying all these liabilities, trying to be flashy to attract the attention of a person that may not even necessarily know that you're interested. Because remember, they're not in your head. They don't know what you're thinking. The same goes for other people. If you're interested in someone, and we're going to get into the science, if you're interested in someone, you're going to have to go ahead and take the risk. Excuse me. There is no other course of action. You putting on a bunch of makeup and making yourself prettier, while you may end up making yourself, and there's even a toss-up with that, but even though you put on the makeup, one doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be more attractive, because we've all seen what botched makeup looks like. And number two, even if you go ahead and you put on all this makeup and you start to make it adorn yourself with all these things, and you start to look even more physically attractive, again, the person whom it is that you've got yourself in the delusion that you're thinking that you're going to attract doesn't necessarily know that you're interested in them. So intrinsically, the game is designed for cowards. That's what the game, or having game, or the game theory is. The people who really play the game the way that really play the game extensively are cowards by definition, because nobody wants to. Give you an example. This friend that I used to know, right? I don't speak to this person anymore, but I used to be friends with this person. This person wanted to change this very untrustworthy individual that they were seeing on a relationship level, and get this person to change their behavior. And this person would go ahead and ask me what it is that I think about this. And I answered them honestly. This person is untrustworthy, right? This person would proceed to sit up on the phone, because this person was a close individual of mine. This person would proceed to sit up on the phone. This was years ago, like a couple of years ago, 7 years ago, right? 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, would proceed to sit up on the phone and try to make the inherent dysfunction of the relationship seem as if it was plausible that this relationship would really have worked out. When anything is possible, but change needs to occur on both sides. So anyway, long story short, this person, I let this person have it. I said, okay. I said, because since you called me up asking for my perspective on something, I gave it to you, and you don't necessarily want to take it into consideration, you go ahead. A week later, this person broke my friend at the time's heart. You know what happened to him? Because he was into the game, trying to make something that he knows is dysfunctional seem functional by definition. You know what happened to him? The last time I spoke to him, the the last time I spoke to this individual, he's paying for companionship. And he's playing with his nose, if you know what I mean. Playing with their nose. Playing with his nose. Why? Because you can't seem to not be a coward and deal with the fact that you made a mistake in your calculations when it comes to interacting with this particular person. Instead of you owning up to it and letting go and proceeding to make proper adjustments, you let your inherent ego, which is your cowardice, put you in a position now where you playing with your nose, and now you paying for companionship, and you're supposed to be an individual in the armed forces. So we're gonna go ahead and get to the reading. I just wanted to go ahead and clarify this. So in essence, if you're going to achieve the greater reward, no matter who it is, you will have to take risks. Science has found out that risk is inherently linked to success, especially if you're well prepared to take the risk. So all those people who, I don't want to take a risk, by definition, not only are you a coward, but that's exactly the reason why it is that it's not going to work. Because you're too scared to even take the risk. And in order for you to succeed, you must risk. Science has shown this. Science has proven this. People who do excessive worrying is 3 to 5 times more predisposed to being diagnosed with all these anxiety disorders. Why? Because of all of this excessive worrying, because you're too scared to take risks. When the reward is just at the end of taking that risk. So if you don't take a risk, you don't succeed. Science has shown this through tens of thousands of neurological brain and body and nerve studies. So the cards that I come up with for the Scorpios, sorry if I went on that long rant. Somebody asked me to do that. You have Shango, you have Razuli Freda Dahomey, you have Simbi, you have Ochosi, you have Alegua, you have Dance, you have Kochi, you have Zotoli, you have Grand Boyce, you have Azaka La Flambeau, Nanan Blakal La Flambeau, you have Shili Bo Noval Dan Lee, you have Narasa, you have Agua La Flambeau, and you have, oh, the Lake of Fire, okay. Okay, that's cool. And logo. So what it is I'm seeing here for the Scorpios is, long story short, what I'm seeing here for a lot of these Scorpios is that it seems to me as if a lot of you Scorpios are going to meet someone whom you can hit it off with very easily, right? Which is good. You know, you shouldn't necessarily get yourself in relationships where things aren't necessarily actually smooth, you know, and aren't really meant to work. And this is one of those relationships, my Scorpios, where you and this person do seem to hit it off because you have Dance, the union of two people coming together, right? And then you have a Koche, right? Koche, which is about how the two of you are, you know, it's like, it's almost as if the two of you knew each other way back when, as early as you possibly can, you know, started off as friends, you know, you knew this person from childhood, right? And Zotoli is being two peas in a pod, essentially, right? The Ochosi is you having some form of principles in this. So the thing is that Marasa, I said Narasa, excuse me, Morasa is a situation in which you are now in a very good situation where you and this person actually get along, and the two of you hit it off, and the two of y'all actually have bedroom activities, right? You have to tiptoe because this is YouTube. So and I don't want to go ahead and violate, but bedroom activities. And then agua la flambeau and a logo is the passion that the two of you share amongst each other, because y'all hit it off and y'all immediately got yourselves into a whirlwind type of relationship. You got swept off your feet by this person, and this person is swept off their feet by you. Let's go ahead and clarify Marasa, which is the union. Three of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Wands. Yeah. One thing that I do have to say, watch out for, is the Three of Cups. You do want to be vigilant that this person may have someone else waiting in the wings, but they're not necessarily telling you that. The Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands represent how a lot of you Scorpios as well, may see something long-term with this particular person. And to a certain extent, I can see what it is that you're talking about. But the point that I want to make here with these three cards is you also want to get yourself into this relationship wisely. You don't want to end up, start doing too much of a risk to where it's dangerous now. And then agua la flambeau, let's clarify that. The Sun, the Judgment, the Nine of Cups. You think that you know this person after a very short amount of time, and that's good. It's good that a lot of you Scorpios have great confidence in this other person, in yourself, in this newfound relationship. But like I said before, you really want to go ahead and make sure that this person isn't leading you down a corridor, all right, that when you walk into the room is full of traps. You don't want to do that. Or leading you down a corridor, down a trap. Let's clarify the local, excuse me. Page of Cups, Four of Wands, King of Swords. This person may now want you to slow down because they may see you as doing a little bit too much worrying and a little too much plan making. So as a result, they don't want you to worry so much. They want you to now start relaxing, taking, your time, getting to know them, right? Because some of you Scorpios may be like, you really in love with this person, and you don't want to start making wedding plans immediately. You really do want to take your time with this. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe. If you'd like to contact me for personal reading, my email address as well as the prices are in the description box below. It would really be in your benefit if you hit me up for a reading. Peace.